Okay. I actually managed to get back at the time I said I would. Because in my defense, I said around midday. Not exactly midday, around. Because I know myself. But this is good for me. I'll take this. Also, I may have cheated slightly. And, you know, in true Blue Peter style, here are some I made earlier. I got a bagel out the freezer, I was waiting for it to defrost, and I thought, you know what? While I'm here, I'll cut some stuff. So I did. But hey. So all I have to do is glue these together, which I will do now. And then I have, hopefully, a calf piece that I can ask my friend to test, and once I know that fits properly, then I can start looking at how to shape things to match the shape of the actual leg armour, because it's got quite a lot of flare at the front where it meets the foot. This currently doesn't, because it's not meant to. Yeah. So, progress. I'll take that. So I will do these first two. And then I have to think, because there are several aspects of this outfit that I want to have a look at. One of the biggies for me is the backpack. I really, really want to have a look at that, because I know exactly how I want to make that. Because I want to make it an actual backpack, like a functional backpack. So I really want to pattern that this afternoon as well. Because I'm not sure whether I still have some black pleather kicking about from another couple of things that I've done. I'm pretty sure I do, but I don't know how big the pieces are, because they were offcuts to begin with. But if they exist and I have enough, I want to make a backpack. So we'll see. We'll see. That's the aim. If I can at least get the patterns made for those, then I have some idea. Cool. I'll just pick up where we left off. And I've opened the back door because glue fumes, but also it's getting a little bit warm. Now that the sun's moved round, what little sun there is, which is not a complaint. I don't like the sun, because it doesn't like me. But it's still getting a little bit toasty in here. So if there's a lot of weird background noise, then I apologise. The noise gate should take care of most of it, but there will still be the odd thing that breaks through. Like, I was actually here bang on midday, but I didn't start streaming because there was a bin truck outside. And you would have absolutely heard that. So I thought I'd give it a couple of minutes. God, this stuff reeks. Jeez. At least it's well ventilated. So this part 2, I guess, of the stream is going to be significantly shorter than part 1. Because I'm probably gonna break away maybe sort of 2-ish, because that's when I expect my mate to be about. Because I did promise. But also, because I get up so early in the mornings, like I do clock off for the day a lot earlier than most. Because I'm in bed a lot earlier than most. More bin trucks, excellent. That's fine. Where is my, not super suit, sheet of paper? I swear, there are so many things like that that are just ingrained into my brain. And it's a generational thing, and I know that other people my age have exactly the same problem. I don't want to leave this for too long, but I also want to give it long enough. I'll get a couple of strips of tape as well. I'll make that a few. You never know. It's just nice to have. I've been trying not to do that because I don't know how weird that sounds on the mic. So I apologise if it's really unfun. Right. Let's give this a go. Now, do I start from the bottom or the top? I feel like I should probably start from the bottom. Let's do it like that. Because I know the tops I've been a little inconsistent with. Because I'm just using scraps, so... I haven't been cutting things super precisely. It's just been enough that I can get the right idea. So, where things aren't matching up properly, it's not a problem with the pattern, it's just I'm trying to be frugal in areas that don't matter a whole bunch. That's all. Cool. It'll be nice to have a thing by the end of this. got to look and see what other areas I need to cover. In armour terms, particularly. Because the backpack, I don't... Like, I want to do it, but I don't need anyone to try that on. Like, I can pretty much just make that up. Whereas all the armour pieces need to actually fit. So if I'm considering dragging people over for tests, I think it would be sensible to look at the other armour that I need to consider. Because I will admit, I have been putting off dealing with the chest. I really, really don't know where to start. So I might tackle that. Or at least look into how to tackle that. Because I can still deal with that tomorrow morning. That's not a biggie. But a lot of it is, honestly, just gathering references. Because as I say, when I do these things for me, and I'm not doing them based on anyone else's wants or specs, then I will go into it with a load of references and sketches and all that good stuff. But because this has been kind of like a... Hang on, bear with. It's the mumbling thing again. But because I have not gone into this, it's pretty much been left to me to do what I like, which is awesome. But also, it means there's a lot of like, oh, I could do this, but I should really ask. And there are a lot of variations, so it's not like there's one consistent version to pull from. Which again is fun in like a creative sense, but because it's a commission, it's just like, okay, but what do you want? You know? So I just want to make sure. So I might try and get some of that looked into this afternoon. Hope that I get replies to a bunch of questions, because there's a lot of stuff that like I don't think about until I get to it. Like I want to use this as an opportunity to do a bunch of like IRL kit bashing, because I have so many random bits and pieces hoarded that I'd love to pull into this and use. But I also want to check like what kinds of accessories and motifs and little bits and pieces that she's interested in having as part of this. So I have a lot of questions. More than I had anticipated having, to be honest. for the most part, I don't really need to use the paper trick, because I'm not being super precious over this anyway. But to start with, at least, it's pretty useful, so I'll probably use it for getting, like, that initial contact point, but otherwise I think I'll just continue to blag it, really. Don't think it matters a whole bunch. Last one, and then it's where I decide to join it. So, that's another aspect of this. When it comes to making like a usable piece, I'm going to have the joins at the sides. But there are various ways that I can have this actually worn. So that's something else that I'm going to draw up and then message like, yo, here's what I'm thinking. Are you okay with any of the above? Or are you leaning in a certain direction? And it's tricky. She'll probably say, do what you like, and that's fine. But also, again, because it's not for me, I want to make it as wearable as I possibly can, and as comfortable as I can. And because it needs to be fit for purpose. That is the primary aim. And a lot of questions always come with that. But I think I'm going to focus on making it easy. That's the goal. Make everything as easy to get on and off as I possibly can. I have several ideas. But most of my ideas tend to come from, like, the early hours, where I'm just chilling, having breakfast before I go to the gym. That's usually how that goes. I just sit there with a notepad and think about stuff. So I will think on it. But I'm sure I will settle on something after a while. I need to get a duct tape copy of her forearm as well. Because, like, braces are easy, yeah, but, like, it's just going to be quicker and will take less iterations if I'm working from something to begin with. Because I didn't bother with forearm last time. And I think it's just going to be quicker if I do bother, to be honest. It's going to be fun when I get to the fabric bits. I'm looking forward to that. Long, flowy skirt and big, flowy sleeves. That's going to be awesome. And weathering that is going to be fun. Now that I have the strats that I learned through FDL. once I've got these bits together, I will see about trying to marry them up. I'll give it a sec. Because looking at this on its own, this looks massive, right? But I reckon by the time the other bits are on, joined up the back here, and you try to close it, I think it'll make a lot more sense. So I think it looks too flat at the minute, and that's thrown me off. But I don't think that's gonna remain a thing particularly. Have I left this for long enough? Probably not. What's the time now? 12:30. Okay. That's fine. I got time. I got time. This first bit is tricky, in fairness. Because of the weird shapes that it follows. There we go. Not too shabby. Nice. Don't think I need tape on the back, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Something about old habits. No, that'll be fine. Cool. So, in theory, from this point, it's a case of joining them back here. And again, this looks massive, but I'm hoping by the time that's like that and that's like that, yeah, okay, this will be fine. This will be fine. So, it's just this edge. And then I get to have a look at the whole shebang. Which has come together pretty quick, really. Going from literally nothing. It's getting a little gummy. Wipe it. Right, same for this one. And then I won't bother joining it at the front for obvious reasons, but I will stick some tape over it. Pretty sure I've got another tube of this in the garage. Because something tells me I'm gonna need it. I used to have a tin, but I didn't use, like, tons of it. And then it dried out. Like, I was careful with it as well. It still dried out. So I've preferred using tubes, because at least you can recap them, and it's only a little bit. And you can recap them, I just lost the cap a long time ago, so I've been using cling film, and it seems to be fine. Super unnecessary traffic noise. Yeah, I might see if I can find that leatherette this afternoon as well. Because if I can, then awesome. But if I don't have anything left, I might consider alternatives. I'll see. I'll have to see. But there are options. I'll just give it a second. I also need to get a plastic wallet to keep all my patterns in. That is extremely important, and is something that I learned really with King Crimson, because that had a lot of pieces. But it was extremely important for FDL. And I think it's a good idea for this, really. Because I know me and I will just lose stuff. Like, before I started streaming, I was charging the mic up, and I unplugged it, and then thought of something else that I needed to do, and then went back to get it, and the mic was gone. And I had no idea where I'd put it. And I'm, like, looking under these, and on the floor, and on top of drawers, and it was nowhere. And then my phone buzzed, so I checked my pocket, and it was my pocket. I have no memory of putting it in there. So I don't trust me. Not for a second. So, at the earliest opportunity, I'm getting a wallet for those pieces. Because they will just get consumed by the abyss. Now, I don't have any joining marks for these, because there never was anything. So, I'm going to have to wing this a little bit, based on where that curves. If I can just get it roughly. push it together properly after the fact. Right. Because that's the other thing, is getting in here to actually knit anything together. It's really quite difficult because it's on such a mad curve. Okay. So that's all joined. It's actually just kind of cool as it is. I quite like it. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of Smo, Dark Souls. Because he's got that kind of like, what do you call it? He's got armor that has that same sort of taper to it, but like with the ridges. There is a word for it. I can't think what it is. It's like a specific tool mark, but I am concentrating. I'm sorry. I was lost in the sauce. Hello. I'm trying to remember. There is a word for it, and I don't remember. It's a specific kind of like tooling, I think. It's not fluted. I don't think it's fluted. It might be. I don't know, but it's got that sort of look to it, and that's what this reminds me of. But hello, I was concentrating. So theoretically, by the time this comes together, this will make a full calf piece. Okay, good. That's a little better then. So, for obvious reasons, I'm not going to glue this bit together, but I'm definitely going to tape it for now. So I'm going to do it at the sides. I'm leaving it like this for now because I still have to test the way everything fits, and it's going to be easier to faff with like a central seam than a side seam, believe it or not. So for the time being, this will be the easier method. But eventually it will be along here, more or less. Yeah, if that's the back, then yeah, it will be here. But I have to first make sure that everything fits correctly. I mean, it actually looks pretty good. Like, I ain't mad at that. That's quite cool. I do enjoy that. So, yeah. She has very chunky calves, and I can only dream. My calves just don't exist. But it's fine. Cool. Well, I have a thing. That's nice. I definitely want to mark that this will be where the opening is for the sides. So the same on the red side. That's facing in, then that's facing in, so... How goes your endeavours? You still concentrating? Because you've got, like, what, less than an hour? $15 minutes! Oh, okay. Cool. You wanna crack on with that then, huh? Is this like a body doubling affair? Is that what this is? Yeah, that's reasonable. I just need to get better at monologuing. That's all it is. I need to get better at yapping, and you need to get better at not yapping. So we're kind of like, we'd do better if we were in like each other's positions, basically. Cool. Well, I'm glad I have a thing. Do I approach? Dare I approach the foot? I'm really tempted to approach the foot. It's all part of the same thing, so... Cool. Well, that's a plus. I'm glad you you have a thing. God's sake. That's... Of course you do. Of course. Why wouldn't you just have that lying around? Let me check this reference that I pulled up. Okay. Actually, that's a hell of a lot easier than I was thinking it was going to be. So all I really need is the... Okay. But then, it depends, it depends. It depends. It'd be much easier if she had some black trainers. But the ones she wants to wear are like lilac. So... It should be okay. I can make shoe covers. I've done it before. I mean, I did it for King Crimson, so it's not impossible. Yeah, but look, it's better than having nothing, and considering you have less than 15 minutes, I don't think that is a bad shout, really. Yeah, I'm tempted to leave the shoe for now because it might actually be really easy. So... I may shelf that for the time being. Ah, the thigh is another thing. The thigh is another thing. Where did I put... It's here. How do I keep losing things? Okay, right. Yeah, look. Thick thighs save lives, and my mate's thighs, they are saving lives, bruh. she and I have the total, like, opposite body types. So I can't even cheat with any of this and, like, model it on myself. Yeah. Nah. She's got some incredibly powerful legs. So, I now have to decide whether... No, it is armoured, so I should. Yeah, Summer is definitely miserable in that regard, for sure. I can't relate, as we've established. But I am aware from the people in my circle. So, oh yeah, nah, I got a substantial gap. It's not a problem. It's really not. In fairness, I quite enjoy my thighs. They're pretty good. They're solid. They're definitely solid. But they're not, like, obnoxious, so it's fine. I might have a look at this, now that I know how patterning these things actually works. I might just draw some lines and commit to handling the thighs also. I wonder whether that's visible on camera. Hang on. If I turn this light off, because I mark all of these as I'm going. If I turn off this one as well, maybe it'll be even more visible. Can you... Ooh, maybe? Almost? Come on, focus. Focus, you're so nearly there. There we go. I have marked where her ass is at. Maybe it comes up on camera. I hope it does. Look, it's important information to have. It just made me giggle that it's just AZZ in all caps with a smiley face. That just made me chuckle. But at least I know what's up. So I know then that that is the back of her thigh. I mean, for the time being, I suppose it doesn't matter a whole bunch. But I'm fairly confident that this would have been the absolute back. So, I will operate under that assumption. Yeah, my thigh is pretty consistent all the way around, to be honest. It is just majority muscle, which is very nice. I do a lot of walking, so I'm glad that I have something to show for it, even if my calves decide that they're just going to refuse to acknowledge that. Okay, that's that. I'm going to say this is back. This is back. Because I will quickly get confused. Might as well. Right. So then these will be the sides. Okay. Yeah, no, that's... See, that's the thing, is that, like... I definitely have the... My hips don't lie, as they say. I had to think for a second, because it's like, it's not Beyonce, it's Shakira, right? Pretty sure it's Shakira. Because I had a moment. But yeah, no, I definitely have like the hip thing. But fortunately, I can compensate for that by having muscular thighs. So then it just looks like a continuation of that, and that's okay. So I can kind of cheese it and balance it out, which I'm very lucky with, because that was always a thing I hated, was the hip problem, because, like, what do you do with that? Like, there are genetic elements that you are just cursed with, and you have to find ways around it. So, mine was just leg day. Every day is leg day, and then no one really questions it, so it's fine. And I think the beard helps. Funnily enough, initially, the beard wasn't going to be a thing. Way back, my nan had, when I was talking to my nan about everything, she'd said, like, oh, I couldn't handle it if you ever grew a beard, though. And now it's like, she doesn't even think about it. But then, I guess it's weird talking about these things at the time, because you don't have a frame of reference. Like, it's just, you only know someone as they are in front of you currently. And you don't, you know, you get used to stuff. So, yeah. No, I definitely can understand that being a problem. Yeah. That is definitely, like, the tricky bit, because you're kind of already doing, like, the best you can do with that. Yeah, no, that's reasonable. And, like, you do the baggy shirts and stuff, so, like, fair. It's definitely a struggle, so you have my sympathy. Yeah. Been there, done that, got the t-shirt, but also got the hormones, and that redistributed everything, so the rest I could compensate for. Obviously, you're not in that position, so there's not a hell of a lot you can do with that currently. Mm. Yeah, it it depends, because a lot of it is like, it can be it can be stylistic and down to body type. A lot of it depends on how you wear stuff. Like, it's tricky. It's tricky, and it's one of those, you kind of do just have to keep trying stuff until you find something that works, because it varies so much, and you never know when something will just click and be right and look right. But a lot of the time, it will unfortunately depend on body type. Yeah. No, again, I understand, but I can't necessarily relate. Yeah. No, hoodies are goated. That's reasonable. That is reasonable. But no, I definitely understand, and I definitely feel for you. There's just not a lot. Yeah, yeah, that's the thing, right? Like, I get it, but I've never. Well, I have had to deal with it, but not that much, I guess. yeah, not that much. Enough. Like, I was always identifiable from the back, you know? Like, always. But these days, markedly less so. So, I'll take it. I think having... Yes, very much. That remains the case. But also, I have dense thighs to go with it now. And in fairness, a lot of it these days is also muscle, which is pretty cool. Like, you know... Ah, you don't play video games, damn it. I was gonna reference something, but you won't know what I'm referencing. Okay, if I were to say Metal Gear, would you know the game series? Specifically the character Solid Snake. Yes. Okay, cool. So I like if we're talking about being viewed from the back, I have that now. I have a Metal Gear ass, and it's awesome. it's so cool. It's got that proper like dent at the sides thing going on. I just never wear like tight stuff to show that. So yeah, it's great. Good, as you should. That's a good stance to have. As a friend, I appreciate it. I am, you know, well, not. Well, that's the thing is I didn't. Yes, things get shifted around as far as fat distribution, but like, there's still, if you're that way inclined from the off, there will be a fair amount of aspects that will remain reasonably consistent. So, yeah, no, fair. Ah, okay. Right. You go do that. Have fun, I think. And, let me know how that goes. Okay. Cool. Well, I should be, but I might not be. It depends. It depends if I get a message about some stuff. So... Right, you go contend with that. I'll be here, umming and ahhing about this. So... And while I'm here, I will check my messages. Yes. Go. You do that. I'm going to check Discord. That's a point. Am I using the correct mic? I am. That's a relief. Oh no, I did check. Okay. That's fine. Because I am so used to, like, coming in fresh and resetting everything up that I had a moment where I was like, wait, am I using, like, the webcam mic? No. No, I'm not. I'm definitely not. So, everything's fine. Right. So, I want to think about how I'm going to separate all of this. We need to peel this back. And while I'm here, I'm going to be smart. And I'm going to do this. Because I didn't do that on the last lot. And I should have. That's going to be really helpful. Cool. Right. Now I need to consider where I want to cut down. Because there's a lot of curve to this, which makes me wonder how many pieces I'd have to do this in. But then these were a lot tighter, so maybe this one will be slightly better. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I don't have to do as many with this, because they should sit flatter. Having said that, this bit up here is definitely a problem. So I will cut along there for sure. So maybe I just cut and mark as I go. Maybe that's what I do. Because I can cut these two. So actually, let's say I go down here. Like that. That seems pretty reasonable. Yeah. And then if I do the same on this side, so just kind of take it between the two marks. But then this sits fairly flat. Yeah, that sits fairly flat. I think it's this bit that is questionable. So I'll probably just take it up along here. Yeah. I think a lot of this is just going to be trying to find the curve to cut along, which is fine. So I will do this one first. Almost forgot. Cool. This first. Nice. And then this will get confusing, so I'm going to say 1, 1, 1, 1. Which means this is then 1, 1, 1, and 1. And this I'm definitely doing as a separate piece. So that's then 2, 2, 2, and 2, as are these. Cool. This one's going to be trickier, because this one's not, like, a symmetrical shape. Like, with the shin and your calf, it's pretty symmetrical. But the thigh's got a different shape going around, so this kind of has to be, like, every single piece. It just has to be an individual piece, like, I can't mirror anything. So not sure how that managed to get through. Oh well. Right. So I will do this one next. Like that. So 1 and 2. Then again, it's trying to see where it could lay flat, which is really along there-ish. You can kind of see it, in fairness. It is along here, like that. It's a shame that the camera won't pick up the pen, but I think what I'm doing is fairly self-explanatory. So it should be fine. I can always explain it later anyway. Scissors are getting stuck on the tape, because of course they are. It's fine. Might try and clear some of the cling from off the back though. So that is then 3, 3, 3, and 3. Oh, I've marked where the knee's at. That's handy. Okay. Don't think I'm going to be able to keep that bit though, because there's a big curve up in here, so that's going to need its own thing. Yeah, that is a substantial curve. So I wonder how I get away with that. I think if I take it from here and up there, I think that's my best bet. And if I decide later that I don't need this many pieces, then great. I can just deal with that retroactively. But it's better to have and not need than to need and not have. Kind of want that to be straighter, but oh well. 4 for all of these. And it becomes a mess down here, which is unfortunate. So maybe I just take it even further. We'll see. See if that works. Strip some of this away, because it's becoming awkward to cut through. I will save it for using later, because I'm pretty sure all the cling film that I used when I was dealing with silicone for FDL, everything that I used to like cover the table or whatever, pretty sure that was all left over from when I did the tape patterns for King Crimson. So I do use this, because I hate wasting anything. 2, 3, so that's 3 and 4. Then this will be 4 and 5, depending on how flat I can get it. The answer being not very. That's fine. It's flat up here. And then it stops. So let's say from down here up to about here. I think that's a reasonable guess. So all of these are 4s. And then these will be 5s. You know, stuff like this makes me think of people who make, like, fursuit heads. Looking at that, like, hurts my brain. Like, there are so many pattern pieces to that it genuinely upsets me. I cannot even. Like, this is convoluted enough. So then 5. It lays reasonably flat for a little bit. It's just when it gets down to there that it starts to struggle. So let's say because up here it's chill. Down here it's markedly less chill. Right. So really my limit is about that. Try that. And then see whether that helps to remove a lot of the tension. Yeah, that's fine. Oh no. I'm gonna have to write 6, 7. If Wolfire was still here, they'd appreciate that. I hope they never watch the VOD. Genuinely. I don't need that hanging over me. It's bad enough as is. Right, this bit is awkward. So do I have a way of... Okay, no, so that kind of does, though. That kind of does. I'm going to have to take it in at a weird angle, though. So... What am I? Maybe I'm deep in it. Yeah, maybe I'm deep in it. Okay. Let's assume I'm deep in it. And let's say that instead I just go with that. Let's say that's fine. And then 7, 7, 7. And then C, I'll probably have to split this one in half as well, but we'll see. Unless, does that sit flat enough? I choose to believe that sits flat enough, so actually what I'm going to do is use this one. I'm going to use this one, and I'm going to make this into 7. Because I don't think I need that many pieces. I think it'll be fine with this. How is there a spider in here? I've gone to so much effort to keep bugs out of this place that I genuinely don't know how this happens. Also, I hate spiders. So, I'm going to be over here now, I guess. Yeah, I think that'll be fine. I think that'll be fine. Yeah, that seems pretty okay. Do I have anything with which to trap this spider? Because I feel like I don't. Which is annoying, because I have so much stuff. Actually, no, I probably do. Yeah, that'll work. Depending on where he's even gone. If you can just go to like a central point on that piece of paper, I can do this. Because you're already on a piece of paper, which is huge. I can just take you outside. I fear that if I move the paper, then he'll scuttle, and then I'll never find him again, and then I'll cry. So just sit like on the top middle, and I can free you. I'm gonna leave this here because I want to take him outside. I don't kill bugs. That's not a thing. I refuse. It has to be a genuinely exceptional circumstance for me to murder an insect. Or an accident. Funnily enough, the mate that all this is for, she has a tarantula. Yeah, I don't go round her house. That is just the biggest no for me, to be honest. Like, absolutely not. Okay. I heard my phone buzz. Let me check real quick. I have several messages. Why? Ah, okay. Well, that doesn't apply to me, so everything's fine. It's cool. I just, I get a lot of messages from a lot of things and stuff. Especially at the minute, because I have a lot of different irons in the fire, so to speak. So every now and then, opportunities will arise, and I have to check over them and see whether they fit. So I have to kind of constantly be checking my phone, which I hate. Like, that's not a thing that I want to be doing. It does annoy me. Not getting messages, but, like, having to check my phone that much. Like, I hate it. Right. Well, I have all the pieces, so in theory, this should transfer to paper just fine. I was about to pick up the cursed sheet of paper with the spider on it. I see you. I see you. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't. Stop. Cease. Do not climb away. No, stop. Stop leaving. Just let me... Will you let me help you, please? Because you're not allowed to stay here. So, I'm afraid you're going to have to surrender to my aid. So, please... Succumb to my assistance, you cretin. No, don't go in the crevice. Right. Good. Yes. Climb the lid. Stay in the lid. Whilst I fold this sheet of paper. So that I can take you outside. There we go. Problem solved. Right. Give me a second. I'm going to place you well, actually, if I place the little lid Sir, I appreciate what you're going for, but I'm going to need you to not do that. There. Now be free. Good. And if you could, like, not travel all the way back down to the end of the garden, that would be awesome. In fairness, I'm not using glue at the minute, so I might as well close the door. Cool. Alright, spider saved. earned a sip of water. Cool. Where was I? Right. I was gonna draw all these out, I guess. Cool. Well, I guess that's my, next. Oh, well, I was gonna say hour, but no, ideally not. Ideally, half an hour. If I also drop a message to my mate asking if he is still alive. Where is he? The last time I messaged him on Snapchat was 6 months ago. What? That is insane. Is it his birthday today? Well, damn. I'm a terrible friend. God. I'm the worst. Okay, I'm now going to message another friend to ask if it's actually his birthday. Because I know this friend will reply. So, cool. Right. Anywho. I thought I'd survive with the door shut. I was wrong. So the door is open again. If the spider's back, I have spider removal tools now. So, whatever. It'll be fine. Are any of these going to be too big for A4? I don't think they are. I think we're okay. 6, 7. I'm so averse to saying 6, 7 now. That's so stupid. So stupid. Right. I'll do the same thing that I did for the last lot. And I'll do one side as red, one side in blue, and then I know which one's facing and which way. Yeah, I'll just copy it as it is. So, yeah, this is my life now. I'll be doing this for a bit. Talk amongst yourselves. I don't want to waste any paper, though. Yeah, I can fit that on there. It's fine. And I will just copy it exactly as it is for now. Because I have no idea how it's going together yet. So I can change stuff as I need to. It's fine. It's literally just a rinse repeat of what I did earlier. So, can't say I've got an awful lot to add. Really? I am, it was funny, and I want to keep it there, frankly. How was I was doing that, okay, yep. How did I forget halfway through doing something? Even by my standards, that is impressive. But I've been awake for a long time, so I'm going to... I'm going to start keeping this just on the desk. I think that's only fair. Okay, so then I've dealt with one of these. I can get another one on the same sheet. Trying to keep everything as flat as I can. But also, it's not that easy. I mean, the top bit's reasonably flat. It's not too bad. Only having to wing it slightly. And I'll take slight at this point. Cool. If I can at least get all of the patterns done before I peace out, then cool. I am okay with rolling with that. I was just debating whether I marked something else, but I don't think I will. Don't think I need to. Cool. I'm going to do it anyway because it's funny. Right. world. For God's sake. Right. Honestly just trying to power through this as quickly as I can, whilst also being sensible with it. Having said that, I do quickly need to do this, because I can't get over the fact that this seems to have cat ears. So there, now it's a cat. When did I take my meds? Okay, it's been almost 13 hours, so yeah, I'm probably out of meds at this point. That explains a lot. Yeah, just needed a little mlem. Now he's got a little mlem. Perfect. There's my cat. This is why I'm not allowed to be unsupervised. Okay, it's fine. I've only got a handful more things to get through, and then I can go and be non-functional for a couple hours and then go to bed. So that's fine. And then actually, it's been a pretty productive time of things. Even though it, like, doesn't feel like it a whole bunch. But then it never does. Like, it genuinely never does. I always underestimate how long things will take me. Because on the face of it, it always seems pretty simple. And then in practice, it just isn't. But then this was a lot of trying to figure stuff out. Because, as I say, I've done duct tape patterns before. But I've done them when I'm able to check on myself. So it's not been a problem to figure it out. This one, like, I've had no frame of reference. I've had to rely exclusively on what I have in front of me. How did I know you were going to do that? That'll be fine. But at least I will have something that I can test. That's the main thing. I don't need to cut it yet. I can draw the next one. Which is this one. Can I fit more than one on here, though? this one's a really thin one, so I'd rather, like, use another one to occupy this space. And then just, like, really hope that it doesn't get super confusing, which it absolutely will, but... Okay, well then maybe what I'll do instead is set that off to one side, get another bit of paper, do the other ones. Because once I've labelled them, it's fine. But until I've labelled them, it's very not fine. Because I will not know what I'm doing. It's so easy to lose track of where I'm at. And this is what I was saying earlier about, like, oh, when you've only got a couple of pieces, like, it doesn't seem so bad. But when you have a bunch, and they're all kind of similar, then it sucks. Really sucks. Yeah, annoyingly there was a lot of exposed tape on this one. But I remember patterning this was hard, because trying to get cling film in certain areas, you just can't get there. You know what I'm trying to get at. I couldn't get a barrier between the tape and my friend's leggings, so there is just tape. There's a lot of tape. Actually, I can be smart with this. Yeah, that's better. I can live with that. So, that was... Yes, we've done 2 and 3, yeah. So this is 3 and 4, yes, okay. This is what I mean. It takes like a split second for me to totally lose where I am. So if that was C, this is D. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. And that is character growth. I'm losing my mind. There is a hard cut-off point around the sort of 13-hour mark after I've had my meds in the morning where I just cease. I just cease. And I'm very much at that point. Actually, if I took them at 12:30, so I'm well past that. Because I am past that. Because 12:30 is 12, and then 1:30 is 13. So yeah, I'm past that point. To the surprise of literally no one. Can I get those two on here? Yes, I can. Nice. Trying to keep this still, but it's not easy. That's probably close enough. That one's that. That one's that. That's that one done. I think I'm going to give up just trying to monologue at this point. It's actually lethal. So I'm just going to keep doing this. And it'll eventually be like a time lapse or whatever, and everything will be fine. Yeah, I definitely don't have the capacity to make much sense right now. So I think I'll just stop trying. Seems safest. See if I can get all of this knocked out before Wolfire gets back. It's funny, I decided by 6 that I was only going to do 3 marks. It's just an amusing coincidence. It's not even like I've had Iron Maiden on the brain. Not until I noticed that. So D, E, F, and then I'll bring this back. So I'll do this first. message? Dare I check it? Or do I just accept that it's probably not going to be important? Check it in a minute. It'll be fine. So A, B, C, D, E, F. Cool. Minimal waste. Excellent. I've been conditioned into this shit from years of sewing. Still gonna have to waste a sheet, though. That's upsetting. Oh well. I may as well take the skinnier one and do it on here. Unless... No, because that had 6 and then... Yeah, okay, I'm gonna get confused if I jump ahead. So I will do this one. Just concentrating. Which is ridiculous. Because I'm drawing around shapes. That doesn't require as much brain power as it genuinely is right now. Right. That, and that's not one because it was only 3. That. I'm not saying it aloud because I refuse. So this will be G. So now I can cut out C and stop being so confused with it. Huzzah. So then I've got A, B, C, D, means I only have one more piece. And it's bang on 2 o'clock. Not bad. That's not far off. That's not far off at all. That's too big for that. Shame. Guess I'll use a new bit. But then I'll have had everything for the, well, bar the feet. But then I don't know, the feet, I think, I don't want to get too confident with it, but they look pretty easy. So I'm not all too phased with the feet, to be honest. Do I just assume it comes all the way down to here, so I've drawn every other piece exact, so I'll do the same for this. Screw it. Screw it, it's probably not a problem, but I don't want to make it a problem, so I won't. As well as that, and that. Okay. You are stuck, but that's fine. So, 7, 7, and 7. And then these were the funky little arrows. Because I like to make things difficult for no reason. Cool. And then, yeah. And this is H. For how am I still awake? The answer is I won't be for very long. It's fine. I'll do this, check my messages, and go chill out for a while. Well, tidy up first, and then go chill out for a while. So I can do the foam for these tomorrow morning. So that's fine. Good. I'll put all of these in the drawer. I do need to get a wallet for the pattern pieces. That was the other thing. I'm not going to need this. But I'm keeping this. Okay. I need to have a bit of a tidy up. But beyond that, not a bad run. Not bad at all. most things are pretty tidy, in fairness. Cool. Oh, and I was also going to do the markings on the back. God damn it. I was so close. But I know me, and I'll forget if I don't do this, so... I'll do this, and then I will dip. I had to. I had to. I realised I'd missed it, so I had to fix it. Right. Ah, you're back. Hey, nice. That's good timing, because I'd aimed to have finished this by the time you got back. And I don't know whether I'm technically succeeding, because I'm basically done. But also, I'm in another dimension. Like, the meds are out of my system, so I don't know where I am right now. But I can pretend that this is fine, and that I have done the thing I set out to do. Because I technically have. Yeah. But I have all of the pattern pieces for the thigh, so I can do the foam for it tomorrow morning, and then I will have all of the leg bits that I require for testing stuff. So to be honest, I think that's pretty major. Yeah. It's more than I'd expected to get done today. I don't know whether that's just because I'd set my expectations extremely low, or because I know that things take a lot longer than I ever expect them to. That sounds exactly like you. Yep. I'm not remotely surprised. I know you said you were ordering fancy bits for it, but, like, do you have those yet? Or are you just like, hey, new, check it out? Or are you able to flex, like, stickers and shit? Oh, okay. Why guilty? And why nervous, I guess? Like, why Delilah? I feel like live streaming my descent into madness is just, like, actually incriminating. Like, this will be used against me at some point. Ah, okay, I see. Also, just to briefly prove my mania, I observed that this particular piece had, like, cat ears, so this is where my head's at, I guess. I'm not copying it onto this site, though. That is unnecessary. Yeah, right. This is what happens when you take your meds at half midnight and you're well over the 13-hour maximum that they can last for. So, yeah. Time your meds, guys. But it's fine, I'm basically done here, so... Really? I found it pretty easy. But then I say easy, but it's more that I'm too stubborn to let it go, I guess. Like, I've been the same with a lot of the medical stuff that I've been dealing with. For... long story, but a lot of nonsense with Grandad. And there's been an awful lot to pursue, and I've pursued all of it. Because I refuse not to. Pier 1. Right. Oh, see, I didn't have to write any of that. I just had an appointment with a person and told them. I don't know what form, but then I suppose it depends who you go through. Are you going, like, private or NHS? It's just started raining. Of course it has. Son of a bitch. It's not like I've got electrical cables strewn across the lawn. I'll go deal with that in a second. Psychiatry UK. Okay. Right. Okay. Yeah, I don't know how insurances would work for that sort of thing anyway. And I also don't remember whether I spoke to you about how I went about it before. Because mine was like a right to choose thing. So it was like a combo of NHS and private-ish. And I think I just got very lucky with waiting lists, so I was seen to pretty quick. Okay, right. Yeah, from what I remember, I downloaded a form from the provider's website, went to the GP with it, and then the GP filled in some info, and then I got contacted by the provider, and then spoke to a lady about some stuff, and then she went, yeah, you definitely have it, and then meds. Oh, interesting. Do you just mean like the online? So just like the portal stuff. Is that would that be accurate? Because you get sent a load of things to fill out in like an online portal. Because if it's just those, then they're annoying, but bruh. Right, okay. I mean, yeah, you need to jump on that one for sure, for damn sure. Because that was years and years and years ago. Like, the system is totally different now. I have no idea what it's like now. Because that was sorted out almost a decade ago at this point, which is horrifying to think about. Yeah, right? Okay, so no, but once you have the piece of paper, you can present that to employers and educational bodies and other institutions, and they are then obligated to accommodate you. If you don't have the bit of paper, good luck, basically. Because that's all I've ever used mine for, is to... It's one of... I basically use it as like a... if I have to. It's my trap card, right? No pun intended. But it's one of those, like, I'll say, like, hey, here's this thing, can I do this instead? And if I'm ever told no, that's when I whip out the piece of paper. And that quickly becomes a yes. Yeah. Because there's no way that I would have gotten away with what I did with Thermo if I hadn't had the piece of paper. That's the only reason. Like, as far as, like, especially like the shift pattern stuff. Like, the only doing earlies thing. Because of routines, etc. Like, nobody cared until I whipped out the piece of paper. So, trust me, it's worth pursuing, even though it is irritating and super counterintuitive, because, like, you know, especially with the ADHD aspect, like, you'd think that these sorts of bodies, knowing how that works, wouldn't rely on you to get around to filling the forms out. Because that's kind of how that... like, that's kind of the whole point, is that that's not how it works. That's not how your brain works. You can't just fill the thing out. So... yeah. And that's why, like, there are so many aspects of the system that I desperately want to rage over, because it is set up for you to fail so that they don't have to do anything. But they shouldn't be allowed to do that, because they're the diagnostic body, so they know the symptoms, so they know what they're doing. They can't feign ignorance around it. Yeah. Like when because I did like a... part of it was like an online assessment, and one bit was there was this test, and it was like, you have to stay focusing at the screen, and like they'd flash up a bunch of like shapes and colors and stuff, and you had to hit the spacebar every time it was a certain shape or a certain color. And the whole point of it was like, it's a 30-minute thing that you are told to just sit still and focus, and like you have your webcam on so they can monitor, right? Like, you have to sit still and just intently focus at the screen for a solid 30 minutes. And I got 10 minutes in, and I was agonizing over it. And then I was like, hang on a minute. The whole point of this is that I can't do it. So why am I trying so hard to do it? So I just stopped. I just stopped. Because, like, that's the whole point. Because it's like, oh, you need to sit still and pay attention, blah, blah, blah. I was like, no, I'm going to fidget my leg, because that's what I would be doing if you weren't watching me right now. And I'm going to look at what's on my second monitor, because that's what I would be doing right now. Like, that's the whole point. So I just stopped. Because that's always been my problem, is that I try too hard to pass. That's just what it boils down to. I try too hard to pass in literally everything. Hey, 69. Nice. Jeez. Okay. Like I say, I don't know how to help with this one, because I've always been too too angry to not do these things. I just look at it and think, oh, you think that's going to stop me? Guess again. And then I will just power through it out of spite to make a point. So I've never had an issue with these things. I'm fueled by righteous fury. 8 forms! Jesus. That's mental. Yeah, no. Like, absolutely not. That is ballistic. Yeah, but that's what that's what they want. Don't let them win. No. I know. Yes. Do that. Do it. Literally do it now. Yes, okay. Body doubling. Excellent. That's a good idea. Let's do that. I need to find a plastic wallet. I don't think I have any more in here, though. So I'm trying to think what else I can do for now to keep these pattern pieces from going walkabouts. I might just actually do nothing, to be honest. Oh, I did get a message a while ago. Let me quickly see whether that's anything I need to concern myself with. Okay. Alright, and my other friend is free, so actually I'm gonna go dip and hang with him because it's his birthday and I'm a bad friend. Oh, I'm the worst. I also asked him about the team comp for the campaign that I might jump in on. So, cleric, fighter, paladin, okay. So me joining in with a barbarian's probably not going to be particularly helpful. But then, does that matter if I'm just like a guest appearance character? Maybe not. Yeah, okay. Right. I'm definitely gonna peace out to go hang with my mate. Give me 20 mins and I'll be about... Cool. literally the worst. Right. You focus on your forms. Don't let the system win. Don't do it. Think what I would do in this situation. And then dial it back by like 100, and then you'll have a reasonable level of rage. So, good, yes, do that. I'm gonna duck out to go see my friend and also clear some cables up before it, like, really rains. Yes, that's the thing. That's why I've managed to get as far as I have with anything ever, is I am just too angry to surrender. that's I've relied on that this whole time. So, yeah. I feel like I shouldn't be encouraging that, but at the same time, if it ain't broke. Cool. Yes, okay. You do that. And, keep me posted. Because now that I know, I get to do that thing where I'm absolutely on your ass about it. So, good luck with that. And I will catch you whenever you're hopping in next. I mean, I'll be back here tomorrow morning, so... yeah. Yeah, better believe. But yeah, I'll be back tomorrow morning, hopefully around 7ish, so... Ah, okay. Well, then there's a good reason for the both of us to stay consistent. So, why not? That seems like a decent trade. So, I'll roll with that. Nice. Alright. I will catch you in a bit. And, yeah. You also have as good a one as you can. And I'll see you tomorrow. In a bit.